Have you ever looked around your quiet house and felt like the silence was swallowing you? Like the world has moved on and you're standing still? What if that silence wasn't emptiness, but invitation? I'm Dr. Laura Bennett. I'm a psychiatrist, and for over 20 years, I've been working with seniors, helping them navigate the complex emotional world of aging, especially when it comes to relationships, grief, and intimacy. Today, I'm joined by someone I deeply respect. He's an old friend and a brave soul who's agreed to open up about something many people are afraid to talk about. Mr. Brown, thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me. Honestly, I didn't think anyone wanted to hear what I had to say, or even that my feelings at this stage in life mattered.
They matter deeply, and you're not alone. That's why we're having this conversation, to make sure others out there feel seen and heard.
I guess I want to start by asking, is it normal to feel this lonely even years after losing someone?
Absolutely. Grief isn't a straight road. It loops and turns. And loneliness isn't just about missing someone you loved. It's also about missing parts of yourself that existed in that relationship. When a partner dies, it can feel like part of you goes silent too.
That's exactly it. I used to know who I was. A husband, a partner, someone who belonged to someone. Now I wake up and it feels like I'm just existing.
That feeling of being disconnected is real, but it doesn't mean your story is over. In fact, this might be the most personal chapter of your life, a time when you begin to reconnect with your essence, your soul, not as someone's spouse, but as yourself.
But that sounds lonely in itself. I mean, being with myself, I don't even know who I am outside of that relationship.
Then that's where we begin. It's not about rejecting the love you had. It's about rediscovering the person you were before and the person you can become now. Solitude can be sacred. It's not absence. It can be presence, the kind that leads to healing.
I never looked at it that way. I keep thinking if I just stay busy, I won't feel it. But it always comes back, especially at night.
Because distraction isn't the same as healing. Night brings quiet, and quiet brings up what we've pushed down. But instead of fearing it, what if you welcome that quiet as an invitation?
An invitation to what?
To meet yourself again. To ask, what do I still love? What dreams have I tucked away? What beauty still calls me? That kind of reflection can become the beginning of something new.
I used to sketch. I stopped after she died. I didn't see the point anymore.
Maybe now is the time to pick up the pencil again. Not because you're trying to impress anyone, but because creativity can be medicine. It opens the heart.
But sometimes the loneliness hits hard and it turns into desire. Physical desire. That's the part no one wants to talk about. And honestly, I feel ashamed of it.
Please don't. Physical desire doesn't have an expiration date. It's not dirty and it doesn't make you weak. It makes you human. The challenge is how we respond to that desire in a way that honors ourselves.
Some people say masturbation is the only outlet when you're alone, but I feel guilty. And then there's the internet and, well, sometimes it feels like I'm just trying to numb something deeper.
Many people turn to those outlets in search of connection, not just release. But when it becomes compulsive or leaves you feeling emptier, it may be time to look inward. What are you truly craving? Is it intimacy, comfort, or a sense of being alive again?
Probably all of that. But how do I cope with those feelings in a healthy way?
First, talk about them like you're doing now. Shame shrinks when it's spoken. Second, explore physicality in other ways. A massage, warm baths, soft fabrics, even exercise. They can reconnect you with your body in ways that are gentle and life-affirming.
That's helpful. I've been afraid to even name these needs out loud.
And yet by doing so, you're already moving toward healing. Intimacy is broader than sex. It's about closeness to yourself, to beauty, to others. You can still have deep, loving connections, even if they look different now.
What if I never find someone again? What if I stay alone?
Then you grow in ways you couldn't with someone else. You write, you create, you laugh with strangers who become friends, and maybe, just maybe, you learn to love yourself in ways no one ever could.
That sounds surprisingly hopeful.
It is, because the end of one kind of love doesn't mean the end of all love. Life has layers, and after 60, some of the richest layers are still waiting.
So you're saying this time isn't a punishment? It's a path?
Exactly. A path toward depth, toward healing, and maybe even toward freedom.
I think I'm ready to walk it, even if it's slow.
One step is all it takes to begin.
Dr. Laura, can I be blunt? Sometimes I just want to look at porn. I know it sounds crude, but the urges get overwhelming. I feel trapped between guilt and need. And then I wonder, is it wrong?
It's not crude, Mr. Brown. It's real. Many people, especially older adults, carry a lot of shame around physical desires. But the need for closeness, stimulation, and even fantasy doesn't disappear after a certain age. The key is how you respond to it.
But that's the thing. I don't want to be one of those old men sneaking around online. It feels degrading. I have grandkids in the house. I feel like a hypocrite. Like if they ever found out, I'd be so ashamed.
You're not alone in feeling that way. When you're living in a joint family system, privacy is already limited. That can intensify your conflict. Your body still wants intimacy, yet your environment doesn't allow a healthy outlet. That doesn't make you dirty or bad. It makes you human.
So are you saying it's okay to look at porn? To relieve the urges?
I'm saying it depends. Occasional use, especially when done mindfully, isn't automatically harmful. But if it becomes compulsive, isolating, or leaves you feeling worse afterward, then it's time to ask, what is this really feeding? And is there a more nourishing way to meet that need?
What would that be? I mean, I don't have a partner. And it's not like I can go out dating at 72.
Why not?
I wouldn't even know where to start. Plus, what would my children say? They already think I'm fragile. If they saw me trying to connect with someone, they might think I've lost my mind.
That fear of judgment is very real. But I encourage you not to silence your needs just to maintain an image. Your emotional and physical health matters. Connection matters. You deserve to feel alive, not just tolerated.
But isn't masturbation safer than chasing something that might never come back? Like love or romance?
Masturbation, when approached mindfully, can be a healthy way to stay in touch with your body. It reduces stress, improves sleep, and affirms that your body still deserves attention and respect. But if it's paired with guilt, secrecy, or anxiety, it stops serving you and starts shaming you.
That's exactly it. I feel ashamed. My son has teenage daughters. I try to keep everything hidden, but then I feel like I'm living in two worlds. What kind of example am I setting?
You're modeling humanity, even if it feels messy. But let's also find healthier ways to integrate your needs. Can you create a small routine around self-care, reading sensual poetry, taking warm baths, wearing fabrics that make you feel good. Intimacy starts with attention, not just arousal.
Poetry and fabric? That's a new way of looking at it.
Our bodies are wired for touch, for presence, for attention. That doesn't vanish with age, but maybe the expression evolves. Instead of intense stimulation, it becomes slower, more sensual, more heart-driven.
But when I tell you I feel like a teenager inside, just trapped in a sagging shell, you get that?
Completely. The mind doesn't age the way the body does. And your desire to feel seen, touched, valued, that's ageless. You don't have to apologize for it.
So what do I do? Just wait for urges to pass? Or talk about it to my kids?
You don't owe anyone an explanation about your inner world, but what you do owe yourself is honesty. Start by asking, what kind of intimacy do I really want? Physical release, emotional companionship, spiritual connection. And then, can you find small, safe ways to meet that need without hurting yourself or others?
But what if the answer is I want someone beside me again? What if I miss being held?
Then that's beautiful. That's honest. And it's a longing worth honoring. Whether it leads to a new relationship, a platonic bond, or just deeper self-awareness, it's your truth.
I worry I'll never find that again.
Maybe you won't find it the same way. But life has a mysterious way of surprising us when we open our hearts. There are senior communities, hobby circles, online forums, places where connection is possible.
But isn't that risky? What if people misunderstand my intentions?
Risk and connection go hand in hand, but being open doesn't mean being reckless. You can set boundaries, speak clearly, and still reach out. Loneliness grows louder in silence. Connection needs courage.
So you're telling me to hope again?
I'm telling you to live again, to touch life with wonder, whether it's through companionship, creativity, self-love, or spiritual growth. You are not finished yet.
That gives me something to hold on to. It feels less shameful now, more natural.
Because it is. You're allowed to need. You're allowed to seek. You're allowed to love. Even if the world doesn't say it out loud, I will.
Thank you, Dr. Laura. This isn't the conversation I thought I'd be having at this age, but I'm glad I did.
Me too. Healing starts when truth is spoken.
I keep thinking about what you said, Dr. Laura, but I'm struggling. I mean, I understand the concept that intimacy can look different, but my body still wants what it wants, and I feel like a fool for even admitting that.
You're not a fool. You're a man. You're human. Desire isn't something that disappears just because circumstances change. But what I hear is not just physical longing. I hear emotional hunger too. A hunger for touch, closeness, being seen.
Exactly. But here's the thing. Let's be honest. Sometimes I just get frustrated. Like I'm a prisoner in this house. I can't even find a moment alone. And in those moments, I feel angry, not just lonely.
That anger makes sense. You're being forced to silence an important part of your humanity. When you're living in a full house with children and grandchildren, there is very little space for you to just be.
And then what? I sneak around? Use the bathroom like a teenager? It feels undignified.
I hear your frustration, but let's separate the act from the shame around it. There's nothing undignified about wanting to care for yourself, to soothe your body. What matters is intention and self-respect. You're not doing anything wrong, but you do need to find your own rhythm, even in that shared space.
Can I ask something that might sound ridiculous?
There's no such thing here. Go ahead.
Then, how does a man my age masturbate in a healthy way? Is there a way that doesn't make me feel pathetic afterward?
I'm really glad you asked that because this question is more common than you think, and yet so few are brave enough to say it out loud. The answer lies in intention and setting. Masturbation can be meditative. Instead of rushing, create a calm, private space. Use soft lighting. Breathe. Think not just of images or fantasy, but of warmth, connection, beauty. Make it a moment of kindness to your body.
That sounds so different from how I've been doing it. I usually just want it over with, as quickly and quietly as possible.
That hurried energy often leaves us feeling empty. But when you slow down, when you allow presence and tenderness, it becomes something else entirely, a form of self-compassion.
What if my grandkids walk in? Or my daughter notices I've locked the door too long? I mean, they don't say anything, but I can feel the judgment.
You're not obligated to explain everything, but you are allowed boundaries. It's okay to carve out time for yourself and to expect privacy. That's not selfish, it's self-respect. Perhaps you need to communicate that you need some quiet time during a certain hour. Frame it around self-care or reflection.
You think they'd understand?
Maybe not at first, but it's not about seeking permission. It's about standing gently but firmly in your right to personal time. The more you respect yourself, the more others begin to adjust around that.
It still feels like I'm stuck in a cultural cage. Like people think a man over 70 shouldn't be thinking about these things.
But you are, and you're not alone. Our culture often ignores or suppresses the sexuality of elders. But being older doesn't make you less sensual. It can actually deepen your connection to intimacy because it becomes less about performance and more about feeling.
But where do I go with all that feeling? I mean, I'm not dating anyone. I'm not in love. What do I do with the weight of this longing?
Start by honoring it. Write about it. Paint it. Put it into music. Share it with a trusted friend. Longing isn't shameful. It's sacred. And over time, that energy can be transformed into something healing. You might even open your heart to new forms of love.
Like what? Dating apps for seniors?
Why not? There are safe, respectful platforms out there. More importantly, there are local meetups, community events, book clubs. Connection doesn't always start with romance. Sometimes it begins with shared laughter or listening to the same kind of music.
You really believe it's possible to start again at this age?
I believe it's not only possible, it might be the most authentic season of your life. Because now you're not seeking someone to complete you. You're simply sharing your life with whoever sees the beauty of your soul.
That's a powerful way to put it.
And it's true. So the next time desire arises, instead of hiding it or fearing it, meet it. Ask it what it really wants. Sometimes it will lead you to connection, sometimes to healing, but always to truth.
And if it doesn't go away?
Then it stays with you as a reminder you're still alive, still capable of feeling deeply. That, Mr. Brown, is not a curse. It's a gift.
You've given me a lot to think about.
Good. That means something inside you is waking up. Don't be afraid of that. It means you still care.
Maybe I'll take a walk this evening, alone, just to let all this settle.
That sounds like a beautiful place to start.
You know, Dr. Laura, something shifted today. I came in here carrying this heavy weight, but now, after everything we've talked about, I feel a strange peace.
That peace is what happens when the truth is spoken with love. Sometimes the truth isn't easy, but when we stop running from it, we start healing.
You're right. I was so caught up in the silence, the shame, the loneliness. I didn't realize that maybe God allowed this space in my life for a reason. Maybe I wasn't meant to carry all this desire alone, but to understand something deeper.
Yes, sometimes when we're no longer entangled in earthly attachments, we hear the whisper of the divine more clearly. When a spouse passes, or a body changes, or desire lingers without an outlet, it may be God calling us into a higher form of love, of connection with Him.
That makes sense now. Maybe I've been trying to fill the emptiness with something physical when what I was really hungry for was soul food, a closeness with God, a deeper relationship with the one who has never left me.
Exactly. Intimacy isn't just about bodies. It's about being fully known and fully accepted. And no one does that better than our Creator. He sees you completely and still calls you worthy.
Even in my weaknesses?
Especially in your weaknesses. That's where grace flows in. Sometimes what we think is loneliness is actually a sacred invitation to rest, to listen, to let go of what we can't control and accept divine companionship.
I feel lighter, like I don't have to keep proving I'm still a man. I just need to live fully, whatever that looks like now.
That's right. Living fully might mean taking joy in your morning tea, walking in the garden, blessing your grandchildren with your wisdom, or simply praying with an open heart. You're not less because you're alone. You're being refined.
I wish someone told me this earlier.
We don't always hear it until we're ready. But I'm glad you came, and even more glad you stayed.
Thank you, Dr. Laura. Truly, you've helped me see things through a new lens. I may not be able, or even meant, to find another partner. But maybe that's not the loss I thought it was. Maybe it's a gift in disguise.
A gift of freedom, of clarity, of devotion. God isn't punishing you with solitude. He's protecting your purpose. And your life still holds meaning, joy, and yes, love in so many unexpected ways.
You've opened my eyes today, really. I think I'll go home and pray. Not just for peace, but for purpose.
That's a beautiful step. God bless you, Mr. Brown.
And bless you, Dr. Laura. I feel like I've just come out of a long winter. Maybe spring has arrived.
Then step into the sunlight. It's waiting for you.
Goodbye, my friend.
Goodbye, Mr. Brown. And to everyone watching today, thank you. If even one heart felt a little less alone, then this conversation was worth it. If you found comfort or clarity or courage in our dialogue, I invite you to like this video, share it with someone who needs it, and subscribe to Elderly Paradox, because aging isn't an ending. It's a deeper beginning, a paradox full of beauty, wisdom, and healing. Until next time, take care, stay gentle with yourselves, and remember, you are never truly alone. Love you all. God bless.